1 year ago, we hauled out and discovered old damage to our keel structure. It had been repaired but was now flexing. Due to a previous grounding, there were cracks on the port side where the ribs connect to the stringer. We consulted many qualified individuals in person and online. After a year of gathering information and gaining experience, we are now ready.
Flying everywhere. I could hardly even sleep last night. I was so stoked. It's a little too big, maybe even a little too beastie for the job.
We're about to beef up the bones of our boat.
Subscribe and follow along. It's almost time to go sailing.
These are the tales of Boab.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Aren't you glad we're done taping?
Oh, we're so glad. Welcome to our fort.
What you're looking at here is our keel floor, aka the bones of our boat. When we hauled out, we realized old damage that had been there when we purchased the boat. And the reason why we noticed it is because the keel was pushing up into our boat a little bit. And this is actually normal for fin-keeled boats such as ours, as opposed to a full-keel boat where the keel is built into the structure of the boat. That brought our attention to the keel floor, and that's when we noticed this old fiberglass repair here as well as here. And we also noticed that there's a crack right here going from our rib here to the stringer.
Prepping for a job like this is super important, and it's actually even really important to prep for the prep work. And what I mean by that is like really degreasing and making the keel floor clean before we even start sanding. Nick from Cribble Cove even kind of reiterated this fact to us and wanted to make sure that we were going to completely degrease any of this original fiberglass work, any grease that was just, you know, hanging out in the bilge. He said you need to get that off before you start sanding. Otherwise, what's going to happen is when you sand, you're going to make that grease go into the grooves where you really can't sand it, or you can't clean it out. You can't sand it out. And when you go to apply the new fiberglass and epoxy, it's not going to stick. It has to be super, super clean. So we started with some water, some vinegar, and we used some grease off citrus cleaner that did a really good job, and we basically just scrubbed the crap out of our bilge for the past couple days. And finally, before we start sanding, we are going to give it a rinse with some acetone. I know, Henry Phelps, you're not a huge fan of the acetone, but we've found it to be really effective so far, so we're going to use that before we start sanding. Alright guys, we're gonna go take it easy and rest up tonight, because the next time you see us, we're gonna be sanding our asses off. Alright guys, today's the day that we've been waiting for months, for a year, basically. I know you've been waiting for it too. So let's get started. Wow! Take two. Let's get started. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm the dentist sanding away, and Michael's the hygienic assistant sucking out all the gump and what have you. So this multi-tool with the vicious triangle attachment here has been the tool of choice thus far. We first focus on the old repairs, grinding them away, all of the delaminated fiberglass and around the edges, just smoothing everything out. And right now, Michael is about to take over, only she has a different plan, and I really hope it works out. So this thing wasn't really doing well on the paint, and we have to get all the paint up as well in order for the fiberglass to really stick. So she's going to try her favorite tool of all time. Both of these, by the way, were sent to us by a guy named Jack, and Jack's got our back. And this is the tool that Michael's about to try to use. You want to sell us on the tool, or?
I'm just gonna let the tool speak for itself. I don't know if it's gonna be a better option or not, but all I know is that thing's a beast, and this is kind of a beastie job. The big Bosch Beast was just, it's a little too big, maybe even a little too beastie for the job.
It's almost bigger than your head.
Yeah, we were keeping the mess pretty well contained, but with this thing flying everywhere.
This tool is slightly less aggressive than that triangular one I was using at first, but a little more aggressive than the sandpaper that Michael was using. We like that it's round. It seems to be doing pretty good. That is a wrap for the day. We managed to get half of it done, but I think we're more than halfway done because this was the side with all the repairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we thought we were gonna sand the whole thing today, and as usual, we're about 50% like able to accomplish what we think we can. Okay, here we are. Grinding is done. Fiberglass is exposed. We're ready to start measuring out our pieces tomorrow. We made all of our measurements inside the boat, wrote all our notes down, and then we found this super secret workshop to go and get all the fiberglass cut. Through the Carter Owners Group, we got in touch with Darren, a boat builder from Scotland. Darren explained to us the Carter 33 design features a solid mahogany stringer which the keel is bolted through. The stringer is connected to ribs which spread the load across the hull. But the ribs are not laminated to the hull. The original design has them stuck in with thickened polyester. Laminating the ribs to the hull makes the structure much stronger. This is what Darren did to strengthen his boat after a previous owner ripped off the false keel on some rocks. Our reinforcements mimic Darren's repair. Thank you so much, Darren. We couldn't have done it without you.
This is the super secret workshop. The first measured and cut piece of fiberglass.
A lot of fiberglass left over from when we did our keel repair on the outside of the boat. So we're just making use of all these scraps. My job is the labeler. I'm labeling, I'm organizing. Joel's in full-on cut mode. But I'm also out here roasting some mosquitoes because it's getting pretty messy. We are getting attacked. It's a bloodbath. Good morning, good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing great. We are feeling so excited. This is the day of all days. I don't know how else to describe it, but the level of anticipation was like Christmas times 10. I could hardly even sleep last night. I was so stoked for what we are about to do today. We've been prepping our asses off for the past week, and we're finally ready to get down and dirty and beef up her bones. Joel.
That's right, we're beefing up her bones today. Why don't you show them our little workstation here?
We've got 45 different pieces of glass. We cut it all out yesterday. Now we're just doing the final finishing touches. I do have one question for you, Joel, though, and that has to do with your attire.
I chose these shorts specifically because it has minimal leg restriction. So when you're in the bilge and you're moving around, you know, you can get into a lot of different positions. For example, right here is one, in case you're down here. I can try to demonstrate maybe one more.
You getting a little ride-up action?
You're getting a little ride-up, but you're not getting any restriction.
In case you guys gotta go for it sometime, get down, get low, get some business done, you gotta do the jean shorts, but not just any jean shorts. They gotta be cut-off jean shorts. That frayed edge is really important. Before we get started with the glass, we're going to add a thickened epoxy, I think it's called a fillet. to the creases. Basically what we're focusing on today is the crease between the floors and the stringers and the hull. So there's a lot of corners that we need to get a really good bond on, and this is going to smooth out those corners.
So we're starting here. This was the old repair. We grinded out all the delaminated fiberglass and we cut out about 4 really small, starting small, getting bigger. And
You can see that was number 1.
number 1, we've wetted.
Here comes number 2.
We just laid the first B strip. We've just finished over here with A. What we're doing is connecting the stringers to the floors to the hole. And we're doing 7 total. So
So
first
that's a
one's
comparison of 1 strip to 7 strips.
7 strips right here.
So this is the prep station. We used one of our floorboards, actually turned it upside down, and it's the perfect space to wet out all of this fiberglass. So I am over here with the pumps and the epoxy, just getting everything wetted out before Joel puts it into place. We just bought this gallon. It's a 3-to-1 with this extra slow tropical hardener that we got. We're going through it, but I do think we're gonna have enough. I hope. We will see.
Okay, just finished that section. So there's 3 complete.
Robert, you are seriously the man. We are blown away. So Robert sent us an email, first of all, saying that he had all of this fiberglass, this double biaxial, really good structural fiberglass, and he offered to send it to us. So he sent us this 15-pound box of fiberglass. What we're doing here is a 7-layer sandwich, starting out with a chop strand biaxial, double biaxial on top of that, chop strand biaxial, double biaxial. You can see what I'm talking about over here. Here is the chop strand biaxial, and then the next layer underneath that is a double biaxial. And what that's doing is getting us 4 different directions of glass, so it's being reinforced in 4 different ways. And what little I understand about the engineering forces behind that is that it's just going to be really strong. Holy
What a job. It just got dark, so we didn't quite beat darkness, but we're done. We're gonna let this cure. We're gonna leave you guys here.
What's next is the engine. We're getting a new starting battery for the engine on Sunday.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this job. If you have any ideas, throw them out there.
These are the tales of Moab.
Over here. Over here.
Come on, Willie. Pay attention. Focus.
Moab! Lola dipped.
How come you're so quiet?